Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever really thought about how hackers actually steal your passwords? Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on their playbook and, more importantly, what you can do to shut them down. Let's get right into it. To really get why this is so important, you just need to grasp this one single fact. When it comes to how bad guys break into our digital world, one method is head and shoulders above all the rest.
And look, this isn't just a theory. IBM's research proves it year after year. Getting their hands on our login credentials is the #1 way hackers get in. It's the digital front door, and they are all jiggling the handle.
So how are they doing it? It's not always like the movies with green text scrolling down a black screen. Let's break down 5 of the most common, real-world attacks hackers use to snatch your passwords.
So we're going to walk through each one: guessing, harvesting, cracking, spraying, and finally stuffing. And we'll kick things off with the most basic method of them all.
First up, we have good old-fashioned guessing. Now, this can be super low-tech, like literally finding a password written on a sticky note, but it can also be a high-tech brute force attack, trying millions of common passwords from old data breaches. But, this simple approach has a pretty big Achilles heel. And that Achilles heel? It's the account lockout. You try to log in, you fail 3 times, boom, you're locked out for a while. That little 3 strikes rule is so critical because it makes just blindly guessing a total waste of an attacker's time. So, to get around that pesky lockout problem, attackers get a little more direct. This is called harvesting. Instead of guessing, they try to steal the password right from you. This could be with malware that's literally just watching every single key you type, or, and this is way more common, by tricking you with a phishing email that leads to a fake login page that looks just like the real deal.
Okay, now we're getting into the more technical side of things, password cracking. This one is really a 2-part heist. It doesn't even start with you. It starts when a hacker breaks into a company's servers and steals their entire password database.
But here's the thing. When they steal these passwords, they're not just in a plain text file. They're hashed, which is just a fancy way of saying they've been scrambled through a one-way encryption. You can't just unscramble it to get the password back. So, what's a hacker to do?
Right, so they don't even try to break the encryption. That's the sucker's bet. Instead, they play a matching game. They take a common password, they run it through the exact same hashing process, and then they see if the 2 hashes match up. If they do, bingo, they found the password. And with modern computers, we are talking billions, with a B, of guesses every single second. That's exactly why even a complex-looking short password can be cracked in minutes.
All right, so hackers also have these 2 really clever, kind of sneaky attacks that are all about staying under the radar. They're designed specifically to get around those 3 strikes and you're out policies we talked about. It's all about moving low and slow.
Okay, so these 2 are basically 2 sides of the same coin. With password spraying, the hacker takes one super common password, like Winter 2024, and tries it against a ton of different accounts inside one company. Just one guess per account, so no alarms go off. Credential stuffing is the complete opposite. They take one person's stolen username and password from another data breach and try it on hundreds of different websites, just banking on the fact that you've reused that same password somewhere else.
Okay, so that's the scary stuff. But now that we know how they operate, how do we actually stop them?
Well, the good news is you can break down your entire defense plan into 3 simple parts: prevention, detection, and response.
Prevention is all about making yourself a harder target. It's just common sense, really. Use a password manager so every single password you have is unique and strong. And please, please enable multi-factor authentication wherever it's offered. For companies, it means using rate limiting, which is really just a system that automatically says nope and blocks a user after too many failed login attempts from the same place.
Look, if you remember absolutely nothing else from this explainer about making better passwords, remember this. A longer password, even a simple phrase like correct horse battery staple, is exponentially harder to crack than a short, complex one. Forget all the special characters if you have to, just make it long. Length is always strength.
Okay, so how do you even know if you're under attack? It's all about looking for the patterns, the digital footprints. Are you seeing a sudden flood of failed logins from one place in a short amount of time? That's probably a brute force attack. Or, and this is the sneakier one, are you seeing just one single failed login, but across hundreds of different accounts? That, my friends, is the classic signature of a password spraying attack.
And, once you spot an attack, you have to act fast. There's no time to waste.
That means you immediately block the attacker's IP address. You lock down any accounts they targeted, and you force a password reset for everyone involved. You've got to slam the door shut and make sure they can't get back in.
But here's the thing. All of this, better passwords, faster detection, it's still just playing defense. The real long-term solution, the future, it isn't about building a better password. It's about getting rid of them completely.
And that brings us to a really simple but kind of profound question, right? If stolen passwords are the #1 problem, what is the absolute best, most foolproof way to stop your password from getting stolen?
The answer is, well, it's almost too simple. Don't have a password in the first place.
This is the big idea behind passkeys. Instead of a secret that you have to remember and that can be stolen, a passkey uses the secure tech that's already built into your phone or your computer. Think Face ID or your fingerprint. There's literally no password to phish or crack. The secret never leaves your device. It just completely pulls the rug out from under most of these attacks.
So let's bring it all home. We've pulled back the curtain on how hackers work, and we know our entire digital lives are protected by these little strings of characters we call passwords. So the question I want to leave you with is this: are yours really up to the task?